We don't have enough mugs. Welcome to AEW. I am RJ City, and my guests are MVP Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Syndicate. Hey.
Why are we here?
I want to discuss your lives and careers and get to know you. Getting to know all about you.
Who signed us up for this? Did you guys know anything about this?
We'll talk to our agent about this when this is done.
Happy to talk to him, too. Well, thank you for being here.
Pleasure's all yours.
Yes, it is, and I'm holding on to it. You hurt people. I got it. But I've always heard that hurt people hurt people. So who has hurt you?
Before we get started,
Yeah.
is that a serious question?
Maybe some emotional stuff. It could bring up something. It could.
No, I got an answer for that. Okay. Something that he would be completely unfamiliar with. You could potentially say that our wrestling coaches hurt us, our grappling coaches hurt us, our various coaches throughout the year hurt us in the way life has hurt us, in the way that you do to make someone stronger. So, yeah, we've been hurt by being extremely physical, aggressive combatants throughout our lives.
Understood.
We embrace the hurt.
Is it called toxic masculinity? Is that what we're a victim of? Actually, I like your shoes. I do like your shoes.
I don't like penny loafers. Those are...
Okay.
I like the color.
Thank you, and I understand.
See, I'm the nice one.
I'm learning this dynamic already. I did have a question about the suits. Was it impolite of me not to wear a suit knowing that you were all going to wear a suit?
I wouldn't expect you to be able to wear a suit like we wear a suit. Different pay brackets.
Right. I understand.
And then off the rack is tacky, and, you know, that's obviously what you do, so.
And may I compliment your suits?
You absolutely may.
Thank you. My question is, you fight a lot, you hurt people. Isn't it weird to wear suits knowing that you're going to get into fights?
No, because we're professionals, we're businessmen. We are in the business of hurting people.
But isn't it hard to throw a punch in a blazer?
Would you like to find out?
I'm just asking if there were suit fighting tips from your perspective.
No. For many years, I worked as a bouncer in a nightclub on South Beach, and I'd never, ever had anybody choke me out in my suit.
Okay. All right.
It's all about managing the distance.
And then it's a cold wash.
Or warm, depending on...
Okay, that's fair enough. MVP. See, I'm starting with you here. You are from Miami, Florida. Grew up in Opelika?
Opelika.
Opelika. It must be fun to say. You've called yourself Mr. 305.
Yes.
But so does Pitbull. There can only be one.
I was Mr. 305 before Pitbull was calling himself Mr. 305. And now he has taken on the moniker of Mr. Worldwide. So he can have that. But I was Mr. 305 before Pitbull was saying that.
All right, that settles it then. Shelton, you were born in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
That's correct.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why do you think that is?
Okay, if we're gonna have an interview, can we be serious for a second?
We can be serious.
Why?
Yeah.
Why are you wearing those glasses?
I think
Bobby's the nice one. He's normally the more aggressive one.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to piss me off with these ridiculous questions.
I'm the nice
The
one.
next question you're gonna ask is, why are you beating me up? Why are you
we
hurting
can
me?
take them. You want? Okay.
They don't even have lenses in them. Man.
For television, I want to get the glare. You know.
Wait, you don't even have, these don't even have...
I thought they were more for show.
For a show.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna show you something in a minute. You keep asking me these stupid questions.
Okay, understood. Fair enough. Bobby?
Yes.
Do you bear any responsibility for influencing the political landscape over the last 17 years?
I don't think so.
I mean, you didn't intend to.
I think in a way, I mean...
Yeah.
I guess I did.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're saying that I influenced it. How do I influence it?
Imagine if you lost. Would we be in a different world today?
With shaving Donald Trump's head. I don't know. I think that's where we kind of blend
Yeah.
blend things here.
Imagine if you wrestled for Walter Mondale. What a different world we'd be in, you know?
Yeah.
MVP, according to you, as a youth, you were in a graffiti gang.
Graffiti crew.
A graffiti crew. Are you bothered by how gentrified graffiti has become today?
No, I'm actually very proud that a lot of talented artists are able to make a living doing their work and no longer being vilified for their talents.
Yes, yes.
I think that's magnificent.
But does it bother you that you were never given like a government grant to do it on the side of a coffee shop?
No, I don't hate on other people's successes.
Yeah. Were you artistic in your graffiti business?
I was a vandal.
Okay.
I wasn't as artistic as my colleagues. I was actually active in vandalism, just bombing, spray painting my graffiti name on things. But I helped with the graffiti crews that were artistic and blending colors and whatnot, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. And now, you met a corrections officer in your youth who was an indie wrestler by the name of Prime.
I was an adult when I met that correctional officer. I was almost out of prison at that point.
Correcting that. He wrestled by the name Primetime Daryl D.
That's correct.
He showed you his indie tapes, and you realized that this is what you wanted to do.
I thought it was something I might want to give a shot when I got out. A hobby, something to keep me out of trouble.
Is this the only instance of indie wrestling actually helping someone's life? You know, usually it's like, oh, I started on the indies, and then things get worse.
Bro, I'm about to slap him.
You don't have...
I can understand that sentiment.
We can keep moving. We can keep moving.
That's like the stupidity of that question.
I do on one end, you know, I commend you on the research that you did.
Thank you.
Because you're coming
Google.
out.
That's not very good
I
research.
know, but he took the time to.
And we took the time from
learn
our
some
extremely important schedules to be here to answer these ridiculous questions.
Okay, thank you.
You better turn things around quick.
Turn it around. Shelton, a two-time All-American, right? Hot start. While attending Lassen Community College, you were track and field champion in the 100-meter sprint. Why not the 200?
I was the champion in the 200.
Oh, you did the 200 also?
It only says 100.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you.
And you were just complimenting him on his research, right? See, that's the Google research.
Well, I'm still looking at the fact that you won it at the 100. That's pretty impressive.
Right.
Well, no, I'll do your research for you.
Please.
Shelton Benjamin, while in high school, won a track meet and a wrestling meet at the same time.
I don't understand.
He would run a heat.
Yes.
Then he would go to the building and wrestle. And then after his wrestling match, he would go back and run. And then he would go back and wrestle. He's won two. Do you realize how?
That's
of course, you wouldn't realize how difficult that is. But
I gotta give you some for that.
how dope is that, right?
See, I didn't even know that. That's
like it's a
and he wouldn't know that because he didn't do any real research.
No, I didn't really. I missed that.
That is impressive.
Thank you.
Is that all you had from Lassen? Since, I mean, you did such extensive research.
I can go deep. You want to talk about Bull Swamp Baptist Church? We can talk about that.
Oh, you want to go to Bull Swamp Baptist Church? Oh, so you've been following my social media?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
That's better research than you have been doing.
Okay,
But,
I should have opened with the church. Bobby, your father was a drill sergeant.
It was.
You followed him into the military. You wrestled in the U.S. Army's world-class athlete program.
Correct.
Then 9/11 happened. Then they said to you, never mind the wrestling, you got to go to Afghanistan? Is that what they said?
No, I actually, when I was in basic training, 9/11 happened. So when I was in basic training, I was supposed to get orders to go and be in the world-class athlete program. But you have to, when you go into the military, you have to train for your job. So I had a job going into it, and then after basic training, I was supposed to get orders to go to the WCAP. But during basic training, since 9/11 happened, they told everybody that they were going to be going to combat, and I was in a division that would possibly go. But at the end of basic training, things kind of settled down a little bit, and I got my orders to go to WCAP. So after that, then I went to Colorado Springs, and I was at the Olympic Training Center for the next few years.
And then you were there, and a bank robbery breaks out. You're in the middle of it, gunfire, you dive.
Yeah, right.
They're not the best, but do you want some water? We could get you some water. We could get the man some water. Throw me some water. Throw me some water. Please, please, please. Don't worry about this. I got it all taken care of. You're in the bank robbery. The guns go up.
No, I don't know.
I thought it was serving you. Okay.
Take that pen out of your mouth when you're talking to the Almighty.
The gunfire, you jump, you hurt your knee, and that takes you out of Olympic contention. Is that correct?
It ended my amateur wrestling career.
Yeah. Yeah, the universe really just did not want you to wrestle amateurly.
Yeah, I guess it had a different path for me.
Yeah.
Because I went to the professional wrestling rank and I become very successful and very rich.
Did they catch the guys?
They did.
Did you go back and say, you know, by the way, they ended my Olympic dreams too?
No.
Oh, well, that's a shame. MVP, you have a tattoo that says Monte Cristo.
I do.
Because you feel that your life has parallels to the Count of Monte Cristo.
It does.
The book, not the movie, which according to you sucks.
They have never done a movie that actually appropriately follows the story and the actual Alexander Dumas novel. So they all suck.
The 1975 one with Richard Chamberlain, he was nominated for an Emmy. He was so handsome in it.
They're all bad.
He was so graceful.
Yeah.
Nothing?
No.
And why do you feel the parallels? Because you also want to sail the Orient?
He's trying so hard.
You swashbuckle?
And I'm actually, since you've done your research, I am a legitimate swashbuckler. I went to prison for robbing a cruise ship, actual piracy. So I have actually succeeded in that regard. But that's separate. Unlike the Count
Yes.
of Monte Cristo, I was guilty of what I did.
Okay.
But along the way, I met some interesting gentlemen who taught me how to conduct myself so that once I was released from prison, I was able to become a productive member of society, and I made my way into the professional wrestling industry where, as Bobby said, I've become very successful and quite rich.
Understood. Richard Chamberlain's really great. You should give it a second
King of
look.
the miniseries. I've seen it. It's garbage.
Okay, that's fine.
Although I will say his version of the Bourne Identity was much closer to the novel and much better than the Matt Damon ones, which followed the novel not at all.
Look at us, Richard Chamberlain,
No,
bringing us together.
there's no us. There's no us.
Shelton, you were in that OVW class where everybody turned out to be a very big name. Why is that?
Tread lightly.
Why is that never ever happened again?
Because no one has ever been as good as us.
Right. And what
Simple
was
as
it?
that.
Why was it a murderer's row of today's wrestling?
Well, number one, because everyone there was hungry, everyone there was hardworking, and none of us felt like it was going to be our turn without hard work.
Yes.
None of us were lazy. None of us expected anything. We all worked hard. Iron sharpened iron. We came early, we stayed late, and we had a lot of great guys come through there.
Okay. All right. Answers it for me. Bobby, you debuted in OVW as Blaster Lashley.
Yeah.
Can you explain Blaster?
The name came from Jim Cornette. He just called me into his office one day, and he had this idea, and it was based around a character, and he just liked the name. So
The
for
Master
me,
Blaster.
no, it just, well, no. But he just liked the name as a big opposing figure. So that's
Did you
what he gave
blast
me.
off or say, let's have a blast? Did
No,
you do anything like that?
I did the same thing that I do now.
They just blasted people in their mouth.
Okay, that kind of blast.
Did you see that? I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off, but I need you to take notes.
Please.
You just made a very, very funny joke. He tried to piggyback off it and just killed it.
Yes, and.
So you should probably do a little more research on how to appropriately deliver a joke like my colleague just did. You know, watch the tape back.
Well, he's treading lightly.
He's treading.
I'm
don't know if he's treading
I'm the
lightly.
nice guy.
Let's get a little heavier, shall we? Huh? Let's tread a little deeper. Let's dip a toe. MVP. You are a professed atheist. What happens when we die?
I don't know.
So you don't know.
I don't know.
So you don't believe in anything, or you just say, I have no
I
idea?
think what happens when we die is what happened before we were born. You remember that?
No.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's just light, energy, that whole thing, or is it dust?
From the dust, what do they say? From the earth we come and
Yes.
the earth we return. That's
Yes.
it.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's fine. Shelton, why do wrestlers still challenge you to amateur matches in the locker room?
Because some people are just,
Idiots.
some people I guess are just dying for to be humbled.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any advice you have for them?
Don't.
Don't.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Bobby, you are one of the only wrestlers to transition to MMA and be actually good at it. What's your secret?
No, I don't think I'm the only one that was good at it.
I was gonna say, I
some
can
other
think of
people.
a couple.
Dave went in there. Batista went in there. He won a match. He had a fight. He trained for it, and he's still actively training right now. So, in my eyes, that's a success. Brock was successful at it, winning the UFC championship, and there was a couple other guys that had got into it. For me, when I got into it, it wasn't just about like making it to a certain level. Like when I get into something, I actually want to be a student of the game. Like I open up a gym, so I actually put myself into it. So I've learned all aspects of it, and I'm the type that I'm okay with taking a back seat to not knowing everything. So I fought for 10 years, and in that time I was training at all kinds of different gyms, and I ran my own gym, so I was a student of the game. So it's something that I still want to pursue. I mean, I'm going to do a boxing match or a fight still left in my career. So
Like one of those novelty ones? You and the
Yeah.
Costco guy, that kind of deal?
yeah, I'm going to get somebody that has a little bit more
I got a
skill
great
than
idea.
me.
I
I got
don't
a
think
great
we need
idea,
to-
Bobby. How about if we do a full-on MMA match with you and this jackass?
I don't think I'm a big enough name. You know what I mean? I don't think it would trend very well.
You're a great name.
I don't
I
think
think you
that's...
should absolutely
Trust
do
me.
it. Yeah.
See, somebody asked me that before. It's like, who are you going to get? Because they have to have a big name. I said, doesn't matter. I'm the name.
Yeah, you
So
got the name already.
You can put
There's the
me
draw.
in the ring with anyone, and then we can
We would
mix it
just
up.
light sparring, that kind of
I
thing.
tell you, we'll make it even better. Like, you can have no gloves. Bobby can wear gloves and a
Great.
blindfold. We'll give you an opportunity.
Be fun,
Yeah.
I think.
It'll make
What
you
if I
famous.
just sang the national anthem?
It'll make you famous.
You know, I don't want to be famous. I don't think fame is wants to crank up.
Obviously.
MVP.
Just start with the nice guy.
You
Why
often
don't
have...
you start with the nice guy?
You often have the cane. You don't have it with you right now. How much of the cane is functional and how much of it is style?
It's a stylish prop. It's all about aesthetics.
So you don't use it for anything at all?
Just occasionally to hit idiots with it.
Fair enough. But I say around the house, do you do a little putting on my top hat, that kind of thing? You're ever tempted to do something like that? There's a lot of uses for the cane.
I'm tempted to use the cane right now.
Okay, all right. Okay, we could do a soft shoe. Richie Chamberlain.
That's where one of you guys were cued to toss him the cane. So we can...
They're not really attuned to the... Shelton, you won Most Underrated Wrestler 3 years straight. If you're awarded for being underrated, then isn't that the rating?
I don't pay attention to that nonsense.
They're the people rating you, though. Shouldn't they just rate you higher?
It's their job. My job is to go out and hurt people.
Yes.
I don't pay attention to ratings. I don't care about ratings. What I care about is that people come, see me perform, enjoy what I do, hurt people, win championships, make money.
Yeah.
As far as the most underrated, I didn't see a pay bump from the first time I was voted that, the second time or the third time. So I don't pay attention to that. My job is not to watch ratings. My job is to take hits.
Okay.
And by the same token, who are they?
Great question.
Who are these people?
Who are they?
Whose opinion? are we
What's the
referring
governing
to?
body behind this?
Right.
Or was it an opinion piece?
They. Who is they?
Right, and how dare they, among your side here. Speaking of underrated, you were managed by someone who's even more underrated as far as I'm concerned. In 2007, a woman called Your Mama was played by Thea Vidale, who was the first black woman ever to have a sitcom named after her.
Yes, she was.
Give Thea her flowers. How was it working with Thea?
I think she was awesome.
Yeah.
She was great. Like, I had a lot of fun with her. And clearly what we did was memorable. There are people that have their own... there are varying opinions of that. I was very young in the business. I was having fun. I was getting most TV time. I was getting paid. I was making money. And I have nothing but love and respect for that woman.
She's a filthy stand-up comedian, though.
She's a very filthy stand-up comedian.
She wears blue.
Yeah, she can teach you a thing or two, I'm sure.
I can't say those words.
I know you can't say those words, but she'll say them to you.
Bobby, in 2009, you played tattooed Hispanic man in Cuba Gooding Jr.'s The Way of the World. The Way of War? The Way of the War? The Way of the World. The War of the World. Never mind. The point is, you're not tattooed.
Yeah.
Are you Hispanic?
I am. My family's from Panama, so...
So it all qualifies?
Yes.
Okay, so you felt safe enough doing it. It's not considered appropriation.
I did. And I think originally when they were looking for someone to do that part, they were looking for a person. But then when they found me, they kind of made a little change to it and said, okay. But they didn't even know that I had a background. But, I mean, it all works out in the long run.
Yeah.
I got paid really well.
It wasn't
had fun doing it.
appropriation?
No. That's good. That's good. That's good to...
You realize that blacks and Latinos come in many different shapes and forms.
Yes, and I was clarifying...
I'll do you one better.
Yeah.
All black Latinos were black before they were Latino.
Excellent. Excellent. So...
They don't become Latino until they start speaking Spanish, but out of the womb, they were black. So if they were born in Detroit, they'd just be black.
Right.
You should write that down.
This is an educational piece in many ways. Shelton, I did look at your Instagram a lot. You are a celebrity death poster.
I mean, what?
Often a celebrity will pass away, James Earl Jones, for example, and then you will post a picture of them on the Instagram and say, I was very sad, a wonderful person.
Trust me, his face will never appear on my Instagram.
We could speed up the process.
Okay.
I was just asking if you had a few in the drafts. Some people who are old or sick and thought, let me get a couple of these ready so when they go, I can...
So you're asking me, am I anticipating the death of people?
Yeah, aren't we all one day? I mean...
Just one.
Okay. And no caption needed. MVP, you're a Steely Dan man.
I am.
Is there a way for me to be surprised by that without seeming racist?
No.
And I won't be. Then I won't be. I'll just say that's great. I think that's fantastic, and I think it's excellent. You've seen them 11 times?
11 times.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. 11 times.
Yeah.
Have you been?
You got to admit, though, sometimes they have some questionable songs.
Name a questionable Steely Dan song.
Cousin Dupree.
Yeah, well, questionable in the same way that a movie is questionable. These are characters in the script.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
questionable in that way. So.
Yeah, it's not something you can really sing in the car. You know, everybody goes to the movies. It's got some questionable lyrics.
No, well, again, you're talking about characters. in the
What's
script.
questionable about it, for those of us that don't know?
The individual that they're singing about in the song are like some creepy, depraved sexual characters, just like weirdos and just
Unscrupulous.
unscrupulous, immoral.
Yeah.
We're just saying, but he's throwing out blanket terms, so we want him to actually elaborate for his fans.
Yeah. Yep, they're watching.
You know, not everyone listens to Steely Dan because they might be racist, so you may have to explain what you mean when you, you know, throw out those questions.
That makes sense.
Just another little research tip for you.
Thank you. Why don't you guys age?
You know what? I have an answer to this question.
Please.
It's not that we don't age. It's that when somebody says, how old are we? They're like, man, you're not supposed to look like that. I think we are supposed to look like that. I think other people that look the way that they are is like, how do you look like that? Why don't people ask people that are all up at their age, why don't you look like that? Somebody asked me that this week, and I was like, this is how I'm supposed to look. Am I supposed to look like what? Like I'm decrepit, fat, out of shape, and everything like that? No, I don't think so. So
Understood. Understood.
I think we're right where we're supposed to be.
What I like about you guys, you said the difference between the Hurt Syndicate and every other faction is that you guys actually hang out. You actually spend time together. What does the socialization look like? You go in the garage and throw darts, that kind of thing?
We fight all the time.
You just, that's...
We just fight each other.
Okay.
Yeah,
And we
that's
like it.
Our recreation. We enjoy fighting each
we
other.
make each other better.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, that's
Fighting
nice.
each other, poking at each other.
We know what each other are thinking at all times, almost.
What is he thinking right now? What is Shelton Benjamin thinking right now?
About how he'd like
he's
to
gonna
get his
be-
hands around your throat.
Yeah, in case you haven't noticed, I'm trying to...
Oh, I thank you.
I'm 2 seconds away from going like this.
I appreciate the reserve and the resolve. Would you ever add to the group?
Yes. I say yes. But it takes a vote.
Right
Anything that we
person,
do
right
takes
time.
a vote.
It's very democratic.
Sometimes we say, I say yes, he may say no, he may say, maybe, so we wait on it.
Yeah.
We've talked about it quite often. We don't know what it's going to be. If it's going to be a female, it's going to be another guy.
Yeah.
We just don't know. So
me
right
throw
now, kind of looking at it, filling out the territory here at AEW and seeing if anybody is worthy of
If anyone
joining
makes the
our-
cut, so to speak.
Let me throw out some wild names, and you tell
Yeah.
me smash or pass or whatever it is. Ron Simmons, hypothetically, a prime Ron Simmons. Would he fit in the group?
Absolutely.
Prime Bronson.
Ron Simmons. You'd be a fool not to have him in your
All
group.
right. Sidney Poitier.
A little bit too calm, a little too
Yeah,
reserved.
I don't think he's I'm a huge fan of his talents, but not a violent gentleman.
He slapped that guy back once.
Remember
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not,
Okay.
that doesn't count.
Butch Reed.
Absolutely, of
Okay,
course.
excellent. Butch Patrick. Eddie Munster and the Munsters. Jack A. Harry. Taz.
Okay, Prime Taz.
Prime Taz.
Katsuhajime, yeah.
That's a strong possibility.
He's somebody that would fit the mold.
Nothing else would be an affiliate for sure.
So who would not be in the group? Who's a definite no?
You mean aside from you?
Well, why not me? Hypothetically, we're playing a fun game here, we're kicking around ideas. What if I, like, emotionally hurt people? Your parents, they're dysfunctional. What if I was that guy, sort of rounded out the hurt?
No.
Bobby, the nice one? The nice one, Bobby?
I mean, we'd have to see. I don't know what you're capable of doing, but to me, you're talking too much. And for us, we like to sit back a little bit, let P do a little bit more talking, so you kind of butt heads with him. So I personally don't think so, but we never know what you're able to do.
You never know.
Yeah.
What if I was-
maybe for a trial, if you can go and beat one of these guys up for us down here in the locker room,
Yeah.
then we'd consider it.
MVP?
I don't think he could beat up any of the women in the locker room.
See why we need to get into gender, but I could give it a shot.
I don't think he could beat up any athletic person of any gender, for that matter. So I don't think.
Do you have an athletic background at all?
Not a background, but I used to take the tennis ball and whack it against the wall a bunch. And I got into a real groove.
I bet you're a real monster at the ping pong table.
I could be. I certainly got very impassioned, you know? But what if I'm like an assistant for the group? What if I just organize stuff? Hey, guys, we're having lunch at 11:30.
Man, you're really starting to wear on my patience.
Well, this has been a syndication, and as far as I'm concerned, I hurt myself today. And
You're killing me.
In the immortal words of the Count of Monte Cristo, setting you up for a little Richard Chamberlain there.
I would quote Edmond Dantes, not Richard Chamberlain.
Okay, fine.
But that moment's past. Go ahead.
All human wisdom is contained in these two words.
Shut up.
Fine.
Nicely done. Very nicely done.
It's wait and hope, but fine.
Let's go win some titles. Let's go win some titles.
Hey guys, look, this has been fun.
No, it hasn't.
I shut it off already. I shut it off already. Okay, it's great.
Can I sell the T-shirt?
Available now at shopaw.com. Is it for me?
Yes.
I knew he was the nice one. Okay, please, no, why? Wait and hope.